This is a thing a lot of people don't understand about it. Community fund. What our goal is not to make a huge profit. Our goal is to create a permanent way for this to happen. So we try to keep our fee structure as low as we can make it to cover what our operating expenses are. We benefit from our scale by being one of the 30 largest community foundations. We have a certain scale and generation of fees through all those funds we have, and through the $470 million asset base that we have, which, when the market is going well, helps us operate this foundation. We also have an administrative endowment that was set up by Bert Getz, who was the founder of the Arizona Community Foundation. Many of you may know who Bert is, who had the wisdom and the vision to know that we should also have an endowment for us that we can build over the years, so that we can have another source of income to cover these costs and keep the fees very low for donors. The other thing, and the other beauty of this, and I apologize, gentlemen, for my back, you should look at the poster. I think you all might argue about the total amount that it was, and since I've only been here 2 months, I'm only going to believe what I've read in print.
I just asked for us to get that.
And I believe it was 1.6. Now, 1.6 was given. 1.7 has been granted into the community. The philanthropy, yes. This fund is now worth over $2.3 million. So you see the beauty of this, and this 1% fee that's it. And so this is and it's in your packet, one of the pages in the back. And so one of the beauties of the Community Foundation is to be able, we consider ourselves, that we are a public charity, and public is important. We want to be here as long as there is an Arizona. So our aim is to be a permanent, viable solution for gentlemen like these guys and for people like Mrs. Pike. But you see the continuing benefit of a gift like this, in addition to the wonderful stories that we can now tell.
I have a plug for ACF. April 16th, Kim came to a meeting that I did with about 30 clients, right? Then you were at a meeting once that were about 40, 45 clients. But this meeting, April 16th, was the day after taxes. So we had a miniature tea party type of thing going. Let's not let them get us this time. But what Kim was a value added to the meeting. That's how that went. Now, did I expect maybe to find any charitable giving there? If it happened, it happened. But if it didn't, they know people that may very well be in that position. Oh, and oh my goodness, you only have $400,000 or $500,000? What a shame. You know, I take $400,000 or $500,000, by the way. But Kim then met somebody that she networked with later. That fellow Schaefer, Larry Schaefer, you remember him?
Yeah.
You spent quite a bit of time. Would he not be into a position where he could be working with people that would ordinarily give, because he gives them a means of retaining assets that they might just blow out the door? So you had a very valuable thing that you did for yourself. You did a valuable thing for me, and you were a compliment to my clients. And I do this for 30, 40 clients twice a year, and you'll be there next time if you'll grace to meet me.
Thank you.
But she did a great job, folks.
Any other?
Yeah, this is a little bit directed at Connie, but I'm an elected school board member down in Chandler. We've really enjoyed that Target program. Our kids have benefited from it. We didn't know that ACF was behind it at all. Is that an intended thing, or, so let me take off my advisor hat. I'm also on the Education Foundation board down there. And again, nobody knows about ACF. We were talking about you in a meeting today. I was talking about you because we're looking at a fee structure for donors. So how can we kind of do a better job of understanding who you are, and do we want to do that?
Sure. Well, this was the pilot year for the Target Adventures program, so they kind of wanted to keep it under wraps until they really, as an organization, since it was piloted here and in the Bay Area, until they sort of, as an organization, developed a whole strategy around it for the nation. So they really hand-selected with our guidance, because Arizona's, as you know, school districts are kind of all over the place. They didn't understand why we have 63 school districts and not one. So we had to sort of guide them as to which districts their intentions were best served in, and just so happened that Chandler was one of them. But we really selected the school districts, and it wasn't a competitive process. We contacted you and said, hey, do you want this money? And all you had to do was say yes. So that's really as easy as it gets when it comes to getting grant money from ACF. In the future, it might be competitive. We might. It really depends, again, on the donors' wishes, how they wish to distribute the money in the community. So we're really here just to facilitate Target's wishes in however they want to see their money in the community. And that might change from year to year. And while we may not, our name is in the title of the program, but we're really here to put Target at the forefront and just execute the program as they want it in the community. So we're glad that you're happy partners. And
Thank you. But then, okay, let me put my advisor hat back on, because I have a couple clients in Payson and they think I'm a horse trader, so so you really bring a ton of credibility to my practice if I can utilize you that way. So how do you see, as our role, how do you see us working with you or talking about how you work?
That's a great question, a great challenge. I think, as Joyce said, our interest is, like you, to advance our clients. For our corporate clients, they have particular interests in terms of being in front on their community philanthropy, and that's perfectly fine with us. And for our donors who wish to be engaged in their philanthropy at a high level, it's important for them to be in front and us to be behind. We struggle with what's the right way to advance our brand. And the truth is that we can serve and be visible or less visible depending on what your needs are. So if you do need us to bring a certain credibility, and some people do come to us as the largest public charity in the state that want that ACF's imprimatur on this work because of our reputation in the community, because of our scale, and because of our existence as a public charity. And if we can do that for you, and if we can help you in the deals that you make, bring some level of credibility and help facilitate a donor's wishes, corporate or a personal family, we'll do that. We are in the process, and I'll say this quickly, you all know this as well as we do, that we face in the community foundation business a variety of new challenges, and that there's a new kind of competitive environment. Because you can go to Fidelity and you can do a donor advised fund, or Vanguard, or Charles Schwab, or you could go to a group called Foundation Source and get your back office. But none of those people can give you us here in Arizona. None of you can give you the on-the-ground intelligence, the local credibility, the local flavor, the understanding of the culture and the wishes of the people here that we can. And so our value add is to be able to say to you, if we can help facilitate what you have to do, because of our permanence here, because of our stability, and because of our growth in this community, we're there with you to do that, and we'll play that role.
Great, thank you.
Go ahead. Yeah, I actually work with a lot of nonprofit organizations, and a lot of times they'll come out with programs and trying to find funding for them. I've heard a couple times, it's hard to find people that'll worthwhile to donate to. How can we put nonprofit organizations that I represent or work with? How can I put them in touch with ACF?
what a great question. Jill?
Well, you would have them contact the programs department, either myself or Mallory, who's the program assistant. The first step there would be to visit our website and to create an organizational profile on it. That's the first step to receive any type of funding from ACF as a whole. And that way they can also use that as a marketplace for our donors. Our donors use our website to find out organizations to fund to. Also, by placing that profile online, they will have access to all of the grant cycles that we do throughout the year. So they'll be able to read the guidelines, read the eligibility requirements to see if any of their programs are eligible to apply to those cycles.
And there's another way, I'm sorry. There's another way. Jackie Ailing, A-L-L-I-N-G, J. Ailing at azfoundation.org is our Vice President of Program. And any of your clients or anybody that needs to talk to somebody, I mean, we've got a great new website, as you've seen, and there's a lot that nonprofits could get from that. But sometimes they need to talk to a person. And so Jackie runs our Vice President, she's our Vice President of Programs. She can decide who on our team should speak to them. We also have a whole education initiative you've heard from Joyce. Jim Potofsky runs our whole education initiative, Jay Potofsky at azfoundation.org. Joyce Medina has more to add to you there.
Really the best way, we have one day a month dedicated just to meeting with nonprofits with no proposals. So essentially they can call, set up a meeting, I think it's every Thursday, third Thursday or something like that. But Mallory in the programs department sets those appointments up. They come in, they get our program staff dedicated to those issued areas, and they can talk about whatever they want, whether it is seeking funding from us or from community partners, because we have a good grasp of who the other funders are in the community and can direct them to the particular needs. So if there isn't funding here for them, then we can help direct them to places that will also facilitate those needs. So that's really the best place to get a lot of attention in a short amount of time. So nonprofit meetings.
And then can I add to that? In the advancement department, we also work with a lot of nonprofit organizations. As I mentioned earlier, we have 120 nonprofit endowment funds. So nonprofit organizations that want to create their endowment funds come to us, and we can work with them to do that, and then help them with their plan giving or just development fundraising activities, and we're a resource for them as well. Geneva works a lot to help our nonprofits set up funds, as do I, and as does Suzanne as well.
I know some, even where they're not looking for assistance in spending the money, maybe it's an operating foundation, they've used the community foundation just for the purpose of investing their funds for them because they don't feel prepared to take on that fiduciary duty. It's a fairly cost-effective way to do it with lots of things in place. So as you can see, there's an awful lot of service at a very efficient manner here for this exchange of information. And I'll be interested in your opinion. I felt very good about today that our goal was more information about how can we help our charitable community here, our donors, each other, our professional practices. And so I'm so appreciative of everybody who spoke. Thank you so much. I thought you were phenomenal. And Kimberly, if you have any closing remarks, and Steve, thank you so much for attending today.
Thank you. And I ditto that. I'm so grateful to everyone who participated, and thank you all for coming. Each of us at ACF feels so fortunate to be able to help our donors achieve their charitable dreams and make the biggest impact they can with their philanthropy while working to create positive social change. On a personal and confidential note, even if this ends up on YouTube, I get so excited every time I hear from any one of you. I still do it. After 10 years, it still makes me so happy to get an email or phone call, no matter what the question, big or small, whether it's regarding a client matter or not. I'm here as your resource. We all are. I know all of my colleagues feel the same way. Please don't ever hesitate to contact any one of us with any of your questions at any time. And I hope that you enjoyed today's program. Thank you again for coming, and please enjoy the reception. There's food in the large conference room and drinks here, and